One question I hear very often is, do you actually work so many hours like I hear on TV? And how do you do it? Answer to the first question is yes. Like the hours are long. I've talked about that on this channel. But then I'm going to share in this video some practical tips that have genuinely helped me. I remember one time I had been working on an RFP. It's an urgent request. And I've been working on it. I got started on Friday. So we started officially Saturday morning. So I worked the whole of Saturday, slept Sunday morning. I then woke up Sunday morning, continued working, deal with church, didn't stand up from my desk, nothing. And then by 4 p.m., I was free. I had sent out my task. And then I was just thinking to myself, wait, am I really going to sit down here and just keep scrolling to you just scroll? I was like, no, Joyce, you have to do something for your health. I remember going for a run. And I think that was the first time that I went for a run. I came back and I had energy. And I was like, oh, this is why people say exercising gives you energy. Since my time is in other people's hands, I've learned to manage my energy. And this looks like a few different things. The first one is prioritizing my health. I know that sometimes it can feel so tempting when you work very long hours to order the burger and the fries, or to order the pizza because you're like, I'm so tired, I deserve it. Fair enough. But I've learned the hard way that when you're working those hours, when you're putting really long hours, that's the time to have the salad. That's the time to have the green juice. That's the time to protect your health. Because I just told myself that I don't want to look back to this time in my career and or this time of my life and be like, oh, my 20s, because I was working and building up skills in my work and saving money, my health deteriorated. So I've learned to manage my energy also. So with the eating right, with the exercising, but then also with the resting. I remember one time my mom came to visit me and I was working, and she was just looking at me. She's like, is this how you're going to sit and work from morning to night and not take a break? Or I think it was late at night and she woke up a few times. She's like, you're still working. I think you should take a break. And that's when I started doing the thing where sometimes I would stand up, walk around, or I would stand up, take a nap, hopefully not sleep off, like take a nap, wake up, and then continue. So that's the first tip, really managing my energy since I can't manage my time. Because it's one thing to be working on something late at night and not sleeping. It's another thing entirely to be working on something that you're like, there's an easier way to do this thing, or I've done this thing before, I just can't find it. So I have my templates, I save down my templates that I use and I refer to every time I do certain pieces of work. But I also have systems that help to make the job easier. And these systems look like different things. First of all, my own systems. So, for example, my templates that I have that I always use whenever I need to do some things quickly. I have shortcuts. I've done a video of shortcuts. I'll leave a link below. I have shortcuts that I use often to make me more efficient. But then also, that's my systems. The second thing on systems is leveraging any systems that your company has in place. In some companies, they have a research team or like graphics team that can help you to do your work quicker, or there is a different teams that can help you get work done or help you source information, those type of things. Before, I didn't used to use them because I was like, oh, but they can't do it the way I would do it, or the work will not come out the way I would do it, and so I'll do it when I'm done with this one in 2 hours. But the reality is, those 2 hours, those people could have started working on it, and then even if I don't love it, I could when I'm ready in 2 hours. Many times I'm never ready in 2 hours because I'm still stuck on the other one. But when I'm ready in 2 hours, then I'm starting from someone else's work. I know some people say it's easier to start your own fresh than to correct someone else's work. I don't think so. I personally find it easier to just go off someone else's work. So that's something I do. I leverage the bank systems or just any company systems I have that can help me to do my work much more efficiently. The third system I would say is other people. So sometimes when you're working late, if you can relate, you know this, when you're working late and then other people are going home, someone might come by your desk and be like, oh, what are you working on? What are you doing? And before, when I first started out, sometimes I would be shy because I didn't want to say what was taking me so long. I would just be like, oh, just a few things. But now I've learned that if you tell someone, oh, I'm working on like I'm working on this, maybe this chart, or I'm trying to get this chart, they tell you, or they tell you, oh, you can find, oh, I saw this other person do it, you can just ask them, or this other person, there's this quick way I can quickly show you, that's okay, and then they'll show you. So leveraging other people and not only waiting for them to come to you, but then sometimes asking when things are taking too long, turn around, ask someone, oh, I'm working on this thing, is there a more efficient way to do this thing? Is there a way, or how would you do this thing if you're in my shoes, or how would you fix this problem if you're in my shoes? That's another way that I would say. So I leverage the resources in terms of my own resources, the company's resources that are made available to me, but then other people. So there's this thing where if you work late, there's someone else working there late with you. That also helps to give a sense of camaraderie if you go and talk to other people. So sometimes when people are working late in the office, they will get up, walk around, and be like, "Oh, hey, what are you working on? Oh, sorry, I hope you get through it, or I hope this finishes soon." And so I think that sense of other people checking in with you. The tip here is just make friends with your colleagues, make friends, check in with other people, and that also allows other people to check in with you. And then you feel less like you're on your own and you're all alone with the hard things that you're working on. Sometimes, if no one else is in the office with me, I'll just call maybe like friends I have in other regions who I can listen to them as I work if that's not too distracting. Or you have those friends who still work super late and so you can speak to them, but just not having that sense of being alone. If you feel you're alone, it can get very depressing. You can feel like no one is here to help me, I'm all alone. It can just get you into a dark place that you don't want to be in. Take breaks as in holidays. I have a mentor who has a rule of thumb that he must always take a holiday every quarter. So if you have 20, 25 days, then you're actually able to take 3 days one quarter, 3 days one week, another quarter, 2 weeks, another quarter, that type of thing, and then bank holidays, obviously. But take breaks often. Don't feel like, oh, I need to prove that I don't need breaks. Or maybe you don't take a holiday because you're planning for a certain project that might come to fruition. It might not. So make sure that you take those breaks. Sometimes when you feel like you're getting to the edge of your end of yourself, or you actually don't even need to wait for it. Mentally plan your breaks for the year. That's something that has helped me. I remember when I first started at my first year, I was just working, working, working. And I was like not taking any breaks. Again, I was trying to prove myself. And I remember one week I was just like, do you know what? Next week Friday I'm off. Like I sent an email like next week Friday I'm off. And I remember my associate was like, just one day, just one day. What do you want to do? Like, do you want to travel? Nothing. I was like, no, I just need a day. I just need a day. And I remember taking that day, and like, obviously the Friday meant the whole weekend. So I was very rested and very relaxed. So taking breaks is something that really helps if you're working long hours. The next tip that I have, which is a bit of an unconventional tip, but I'll still share because this is what I do, is that I plan my life anyway. If someone tells me, for example, oh Joyce, my birthday is on 28th of May, it's very tempting to think that, oh, I have a client deliverable on the 1st of June, so I'll likely be working that weekend, so I can come to your birthday. I don't do that. I'll say yes. Everything, even though I know there's a possibility I'll be working that weekend and I can no longer come, I would just say yes because it's more likely that when the weekend comes, I can talk to my team and say, hey, just need to step out for a couple of hours, or the project might get cancelled. Because one thing to note is that work is work. Work is not permanent. Work is never permanent, as in it doesn't change. If your work is not in the hospital and you're not saving lives, it can be moved around. Like just not hinging my life on work and like saying no to things in my personal life is something I do not do. I many times plan, even if it's a group trip and someone says, "Oh, we're having this group trip," I might be thinking to myself, "Oh, but I have this deal that is announcing." Obviously, sometimes when I'm pretty sure that the deal is going to announce, then it might be hard to travel that week. But then other times, you don't even know. The deal might get delayed. The deal might die. Just many things can happen. That means the work will change. But this time with your friends that you might spend, or this person's birthday or this person's wedding might not move. Obviously, I also recognize that I'm in a different time versus there's some people that when they worked in banking years ago, they couldn't go to anything. They couldn't go to people's burials, whatever. But I would say that it's less like that these days. These days, you can have conversations. You can even negotiate with other juniors on your project and be like, hey, I'm going to go for 2 hours. I'm having dinner with my mom. Is it okay if you cover? And the person will be like, sure, tomorrow morning I'm going to Pilates, will you cover for me? I plan my life anyway. And that helps me recognize that okay, there's more to life outside of this job. Like there's things happening outside. I'm seeing people. And I know, and even sometimes when I go to the party and I've spent 2 hours and it's like, okay, time for me to go back to work, it's okay. Because I'm like, I got to see these people, I got to really, really be present. And then sometimes I come back to work and I feel fulfilled and I feel like, oh, I had a good weekend. Even though I spent a lot of it working, I had a good weekend. I'm sure someone is probably thinking of this sounds so miserable, and that's why I'll share the next tip, which is that I have the mindset that this is a season. Like life is in seasons, and even though it might look like there's some people on social media that finish their work at 5 p.m. sharp, and they have so many other extracurriculars that they get to do, and I can't do that, or maybe they have their weekends to themselves. I've recognized that this is the path that I'm choosing because of something else I want to do in the future. I'm building up to this thing, or maybe I'm not going to do this for the long term, and so therefore this is a season. Because I think for a long time I was caught up in the, oh my god, people probably think I'm so miserable. Like my friends probably think I'm so miserable. I never have time to join them for many things, or I seem like I'm working all the time. People probably think I'm so miserable. First of all, people don't think it. Your friends many times are proud of you. Your family, obviously everyone wants the best for you. They want you to rest and not be overwhelmed and not be tired, which is why you practice those other things. But if they are also aware this is just the season that you're in, that makes it better for you. I remember there was a year, I think my second in banking, I deleted Instagram because I was like, I don't want to see everybody else living their best lives and I'm at my desk, turning comments. I just deleted Instagram for a whole year and I didn't go back. But just recognizing that this season has really helps you to get through it. And if you see yourself staying long term and becoming an MD, then that's a different ball game. But that also means that you know that as time goes on, it will get slightly better. You are building more capacity, your priorities will shift, and then you will hopefully shift work to where it needs to be in your life. I trust that you found this useful. If you are starting a job where you're going to work really long hours, or you have been in a job and like that, and you're just wondering how do other people do it, I've shared mine. Feel free to leave your own tips below. If you have any comments or more questions, or you want to see any type of videos related to this, do leave them below in the comments. See you in the next one.